Knowing my boyfriend uses a fox suit was the least attractive thing in the world, but I support his hobby. I didn't really think much about it. Did it seem weird to me? Yes, but at the time, I thought I loved him so much that I was going to support him. It's just a hobby he does rarely, so it's not like he talks about it every day. It's not his way of being himself. He said he just likes to do the character, and it's not something with a deep meaning. It's been a year since that, and he's invited me to a furry event for the first time. I've never gotten into furry events. I hadn't seen him wearing his suit either. He wears it very rarely, because it's not my thing at all. But he invited me, really excited and shy. I couldn't refuse to go with him because I also wanted to go and see what it's like and know that world. But when we got there, it was like, oh, this is getting real. When I saw him park the car and put on his suit, I didn't have a suit, so my face was totally visible when we got out of the car a few streets back and had to walk through the city center like that. I felt embarrassed, even if it's awful to say that. First, we met his furry friends who were waiting in a park for him, and I found out that my boyfriend has a name that he uses when he's in character. They were nice, but no, it's not an everyday thing to see your boyfriend using a pet name, dressed as a fox, and talking to other people who are also like that, although some didn't have a suit, just a tail or nothing. I felt embarrassed because people around obviously walked by and laughed or looked curiously. A few minutes later, we finally went to the place of the event, and it wasn't that many people but a large group, most of them without a suit and just wearing tails or a mask. I know it's wrong to say it, but a lot of those people smelled musty, had long hair so greasy you could fry an egg on it, just weird people. Years ago, I accompanied my sister to an otaku event, and it was 95% the same kind of people, like weird in the wrong way. I've never been in that kind of environment. My boyfriend isn't like that at all. He's attractive, smells good, has a normal life and work, and I don't think anyone would expect him to be a furry. So, it was my first time seeing other furries in person besides him. At one point, some of them started playing at removing each other's tails. Some were doing dances, and some of them liked to do high jumps on all fours. Not my boyfriend, he was just walking around with me, letting some people take pictures with him, and then did a TikTok with another person. Do you know what it's like to see your boyfriend do a choreo dressed as a blue fox while asking you to call him by his furry name and pet his head? I do know it, and it was impossible for me not to change the way I see him. I didn't feel comfortable in the place. It bothered me a lot since some were using harnesses in their suits. What is sexy about an animal? Some artist stands at furry art, which was pretty explicit. My boyfriend dislikes that kind of art. For him, his fursona is a performance. So I just felt even weirder because they're animals, even if they call that a fursona. I felt weird, and since yesterday, every time I see my boyfriend, I can't help but think of him being part of those people and him dressed like that. I really love him, but I just feel like I got the ick, and I hate that because I always wanted to be the supportive girlfriend, but this is just too much. I don't want to talk about this with my boyfriend and make him feel ashamed of who he is and what he likes. I don't want to make him feel bad about my feelings. He's a great man, really. The only time I felt tenderness yesterday was when he hugged me, thanking me for supporting him in this. I just feel like the worst person in the world, and the last thing I want is to hurt his heart, even if his friends are too weird for me. I just hope I can get over this icky feeling fast, but he's really happy and shows me pictures of the event, telling me that we should go to another event together. I just can't tell him that the last thing I want to do is go to one of those events again. What do I do now? Edit. He's not into anything non-PG. He told me that his character is a performative thing that he enjoys doing from time to time, and nothing NSFW. Then he told me that for him, it's like a person getting excited by being dressed as Mickey for a play. He can't feel like that and finds it weird. We literally live together and share the PC. If he had strange movements, I would notice them. He goes to those events very occasionally because he doesn't like the more weird side of furry. My intuition just tells me that the people at that event smelled funny and that I don't want to set foot in that place again. Update. First of all, I never had any problem with him telling me after 3 years about this. I always understood how afraid someone can feel to say who he is. Everyone has their secrets, and there's nothing wrong if you're not harming anyone with them. After reading the comments people left on the post, I understand the fear that my boyfriend had. I didn't need to talk to my boyfriend because, during the night, he sat down to talk to me and apologized. He showed me that one of his friends told him that the organizers of the event changed, and that's why there were people with NSFW stuff. My boyfriend was also uncomfortable with that since the last time he went to that event, those types of outfits were forbidden. He showed me pictures, and yes, the atmosphere and people looked different. They found out too about it because some people started to complain about that on the IG of the event. It seems that there are public-friendly events and others that aren't like that, but the new people in charge of the event just changed a lot of things. I confessed to him that I didn't feel comfortable either, and he was surprised because, after all, I was smiling all the time and pretending that everything was fine, which is true. We talked a lot, and he was very apologetic for how he behaved. He said he should have gone without the suit and should have shown me pictures of the place before we went. Honestly, I never showed him discomfort and I was always with a fake smile, so I understand that he thought I was having a good time. My boyfriend just kept apologizing deeply. He said he didn't really know how to react since it was the first time he had taken someone so important to an event, so he behaved that way. He apologized for not thinking about how I might have felt, and I apologized for not communicating my feelings too. I received literally more than 100 messages and comments telling me that my boyfriend is a creep. I don't know much about the furry world, so I was disturbed when some people started to leave comments talking about things I didn't know about them. I asked him if he doesn't really feel anything NSFW by doing that. He never showed that, and from day one, he made it clear to me that for him, it's just a character. He doesn't even behave like an animal when he's in character. He wanted me to pat his head as a cute gesture. He was clearly upset that I didn't trust him, but he ended up giving me his cell phone so I could check whatever I wanted. It made me feel worse to see that his chat with his furry friends wasn't even too active since they all have busy lives, but they said that I'm really cool and they like me. The rest of his stuff was just about his work and me. I feel really stupid for letting my head be filled with comments from sad strangers, but my boyfriend told me that he actually understands why I feel that way. It happened to him too. In the past, he had a furry girlfriend, but she did make it weird and that made him uncomfortable, so he ended the relationship. That's why my boyfriend doesn't date furry women. He says that the vast majority are weird people who ruin the community. I said I was really sorry for thinking like that about him and told him about the post. He doesn't speak English, so I translated some things for him except for the people who left weird comments. I promised him to have better communication with him about everything. I never felt manipulated, he never pressured me to do anything. I wanted to try to be part of his world, and no, I'm not a poor victim who fell into the clutches of a beast. Some people are really weird trying to look for a villain in every post. Someone even said that my boyfriend was love-bombing me with pictures of the event to manipulate me. For God's sake, stop making up new terms and touch some grass. I just said that my boyfriend showed me pictures of the event because he was happy that I went with him. I'd rather embrace that eccentric side of him than ruin a cute relationship just because I don't share his hobby. I really like going to raves, and he doesn't, but there's nothing wrong with that. We will have separate hobbies. I want to make a good life with him, far away from the furries with harnesses. By the private messages I received, I know people really wanted an update about me leaving my boyfriend, but no, I want to think that actually, this made us stronger. I want to be a better girlfriend for him and gift him clothes for his character. I love my boyfriend. Goodbye.